Okay, everybody, it's CryptoBIRB. Adrian speaking. Hope you're doing okay on this beautiful day of a week. And because we are just so pumped for what's coming, not only with the Bitcoin, but also within the sharply recovering DeFi industry. And today, I'm very pleased to be hosting this very quick update monthly interview with my great friend Piers, Ridyard of Radix, DLT CEO, who is going to bring some very interesting and burning updates for everybody to keep you up to date after the very good and very strong, powerful release of the mainnet for the Olympia. So everybody stay tuned because we are just going right away to hear what's good. Okay, this is our brief new intro that I hope everybody likes. This has been quite some interesting journey to actually get it done, but I'm very happy and excited again because like I said, Piers right here is here with me to talk about the very recent updates for what's new for Radix. So, Piers, I hope you're doing okay.
Doing well.
Long story short, what's new? What's new for you
What's
guys?
new? So we are now live, which is huge. This has been like 7 years in the making in total. This it's been an amazing journey. And now the mainnet of Radix is decentralized, and the community's running it. We've got over 100 validators on the network. And it's been a journey. It's been intense. This last few weeks has been intense. We released 6 products basically all at the same time, and now we've got over 700 million XRD that are staking on the mainnet, which is over $80 million worth of stake, which means it's like, you know, in just pure economic terms, would cost you over 38 million just to attack the network. So it's like it's really exciting. It's kind of crazy, but it's super exciting.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch the base about that, because just following up on the very recent update on the Radix Twitter, Radix DLT, make sure you guys go and check it out. The total value locked on Radix has passed 100 million plus USD for the first time. So I want to congratulate to you straight away, because
so it's even more than last time
milestone.
I checked. That's amazing. Yeah, more than 100 million. So I'm not for old information. You're more up to date than I am. Amazing. Yeah, so 100 million total value locked.
Yeah, this is a huge achievement. Very well done on that. Congratulations. And for you, for the entire team, because I know how much, how much time, how much efforts, how many years of works, put all together. That is an insane step and leap of faith into what's coming for the new, new stage for the DeFi industry. But I want to very briefly talk, because you said there are 6 products launched at the same time, which we kind of like briefly touched upon yesterday. On the yesterday episode, on the previous episode. But for those who actually missed it, if you were to briefly just again kick it back, here for those who are new, what the products were, where we are about it.
So the first thing I'd say is that anyone who's looking at this and thinking, wow, they did 6 products all together, I would say never do that. That's a really silly thing to do. And my CTO would probably kill me if I ever tried to do that again. But they all come together, right? So if you're building a public ledger, one of the products is the public ledger itself, the algorithm that allows the ledger to run. And that's basically the node runner software. It's what you download and run as a node, and then you need to validate and that was the biggest piece of software, right? And then the next thing you need is you need to be able to interact with the ledger as a user. So you need to have a wallet. So we created a desktop wallet that allows users to be able to interact, to be able to stake, to be able to unstake, to be able to send transactions around the network. And then if you are a hardcore user, you want somewhere secure to keep your crypto, and so you want to use a hardware wallet, a cold wallet. And so we created you have to create an application on top of the Ledger device. The Ledger Nano S is the most popular hardware wallet out there, bar none. And you have to create your own little app on it, and it's this secure app, and it's a real pain in the ass to create. And so we had to create one of those so that people can keep their crypto, their Radix token, securely on a hardware wallet. And then we needed to be able to let people move, because we issued a token on top of the Ethereum network so that we would be able to do this long-term creating of a decentralized staking network of people, so building decentralized stake infrastructure before the tokens were actually out there. So we created an ERC20 token, and we needed to be able to get people to be able to go from their ERC20 token on Ethereum to the Radix network. So we had to create a bridge so that people could move their tokens between the Ethereum network and the Radix network, which is actually a two-way. It's going to be a two-way bridge. Currently, a one-way bridge will be a two-way bridge. And then we needed to be able. Then we needed to create because we had to do it in a regulatory compliant way, because it's not. The bridge is not decentralized because the Radix public network doesn't have smart contracts yet. We had to create a compliance stack, but we were like, let's not just build it for ourselves. Let's make this into a product so that anyone who wants to build compliant DeFi, compliant financial services on top of public ledgers, has this tool available to them. And so we created this entire thing called Instapass, which allows people to reuse their AML KYC in any service within the Radix ecosystem as that grows. So yeah, we did all of those.
That is quite a story. Listen, I mean, this is for everybody who's just joined. Me and Piers of Radix, we are talking about what's actually came. What actually came after with the Radix Olympian mainnet release.
Yep.
Couple of days ago. It is very, very fresh still.
Yep.
And still in the celebration. But again, Radix not software, the Radix engine, the Radix EX, no XRD anymore, but XRD. That's what I want to say.
XRD.
XRD, exactly. Radix Wallet, just like you said, Radix Explorer, like Instapass, Instabridge. That is colossal. That is hugely huge. And no matter how you look about it, how you look at it, I mean, that I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed because not many projects can really keep up with this avalanche of new products popping in and up. So I just want to touch the base with regards to what are perhaps your short-term plans about what's released. Like, are you guys going to fully take care to optimize what the products that just went live, or is it mainly for tracking the progress and letting it go and evaluate it on a quarterly basis? How does it look?
Yeah, it's a really great question. Like for me, the first most important thing was the security of the mainnet. So like hitting $100 million of value lock, that was a huge milestone for us to be able to go, right, network secure. We feel very confident in that. Next thing was sort of decentralization, so making sure that there was plenty of community nodes, that there's plenty of people who are able to run good validator nodes. So we did a lot of work in our beta net to make sure that people were able to be responsive and responsible in how they ran their nodes, because it's running a key piece of infrastructure. And then from now until basically the end of this year, we're going to be working on releasing our new language. So Scrypto is this programming language that we created specifically for building decentralized finance. That's like our key next release that we're working towards. And in that time, we're also going to work on working out some of the kinks and the bugs in the systems that we've already released, such as like Instapass and Instabridge aren't quite as smooth a user experience as we'd like them to. We'd like to do some improvements there. So now it's sort of like a simultaneous process of getting ready for our next big release, which is a single product release rather than like an insane number of products, and also paying down a bunch of technical debt to make sure that the user experience continues to get better and better. Because what we see is everything that we've created so far is like the seeds of the starting of the ecosystem and the infrastructure that's required for Radix to sort of start eating the global financial system. And like those things are difficult and they take a long time, both not just in terms of actually technically, but making them work from a legal point of view, making them work from a user point of view, making them work for a third-party company point of view. And so that's probably the next 6 months in addition to releasing this language. So, not much, just a very quiet, quiet journey to
not much. I disbelieve here. I do not agree. It's not much. No way. No, listen. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an IT practitioner. I'm not a coder, not a programmist. But like having your own design, dedicated language, like figure it out. I mean, that's some big, doesn't it?
Yeah, like we are incredibly lucky to have some amazingly talented people in Radix, and we approach language design. There's lots of ways that you can approach language design and we approached it in the way that I think is the only real way to build product, which is user first. Like, we spent a lot of time talking and working and interviewing DeFi developers and working out what a usable language would look like for building decentralized finance. Now there's different like levels of language design, and like sort of the first easiest is this something called domain specific language, which is where you take an existing language and you kind of like add some extra tools to it to make it more applicable, easier to use for a particular domain. We decided to go quite a lot further than that and actually sort of like build our own virtual machine, build our own interpreter and all that kind of stuff. But that's going to come out in stages. The first thing that we're really testing is what's called the syntax, which is how you build using the language. So here's a bunch of docs, here's a bunch of like of how you would program with it, and then give us feedback. Let us know whether or not you as a DeFi developer who's either just getting started or is like a DeFi pro or just coming into the industry, like, does this make sense to you? And we think that this is the process by which you get to great products. Very seldom do products start off as great products. They only become great products over time and listening to your key audience. So we're really looking forward to getting it.
Several iterations. It takes time. I fully agree. You know, it takes time to develop. And it seems, you know, that the putting out a product out there, you know, to the people to see if they enjoy. I mean, this does seem for the majority perhaps as the final stage, as the very end of the process. Well, apparently it is not at all a final stage. It is kind of like an anchoring, like a starting point, because people get to know you, something that comes out like brand new in the industry, right? So it does require a lot of watching and monitoring. And speaking of it, you know, I actually have it open, you know, for the staking and validating, processes and what you need to know. And there seems to be, like, for those who are actually, you know, just I should say specialists in the cryptocurrency industry, or, you know, who are more from the mining field, perhaps they are more of the programmers, you know, more coders. I guess it's quite simple to set it all up, you know, for the staking processes. But is it really this simple? Again, in my opinion, it is. But is it really this simple for an average person who has just joined crypto, who has just joined, you know, to love Radix DLT? Is it really this simple to set it all up? Like, can they do this alone with the instructions attached?
Yeah, easy, like super easy. So if you just want to stake and you just want to earn Radix tokens from securing the network, there's like 300 million Radix tokens that are emitted every year by the network that pay people for staking, which at current market price is about $48 million worth of RADs that are emitted every year. All you need to do is buy either buy XRD, which is a little bit more difficult at the moment. There's going to be some exchanges that are going to be supporting us pretty soon, but you can buy EXRD, take it to Instabridge, move it across to XRD, and then in your Radix desktop wallet, just go and click stake, and then you can go and have a look. If you go to our Explorer, there's a link directly in the desktop wallet. But if you go to our explorer.radixdlt.com, there's a thing that says validators. You can see the list of all of the validators that are there and how much stake they have, and you just pick which one you want to stake to, and you click stake. And if you are just wanting to stake to secure the network, it's as easy as that. Literally XRD in your desktop wallet, click to stake, choose which validator, and stake to it, and you will start earning rewards immediately. If you want to go one further and you actually want to run nodes on the Radix network, we've tried to make it as easy as possible. There's our tech docs on the website, and everything is Dockerized. Everything is pretty easy to set up. We use Grafana for monitoring all of this stuff. So like if you're someone who's like a sysadmin or understands how to create and run servers, you'll find this a doddle as well. And we've also got the industry recognized names in our staking as well, all nodes and people like that. So like if you want assurance that you're going with a professional, that those guys are available. If you want to support the community, there's a huge number of really great community validators that you can stake to as well. And like it's all part of creating this really active and supportive community that we're so proud of.
Okay, I mean that sounds like a very good explanation, and it doesn't seem too complicated if you think about it, especially for those who are new. But at the same time, I want to give a clear recognition and give a clear understanding for those who are new again, because there are so many people joining, and especially after the recent crash in the market is now starting to get reborn and recovery within the recovery phase. Like, what are the benefits? Like, why should people stake XRD?
Okay, so there's a number of benefits in staking. The simplest is because you earn tokens for doing so. So if you're like, I like Radix tokens, I want to hold Radix tokens. Instead of them just sitting there, you can go and actively secure the network with your stake, and you will get paid extra tokens for doing so. You increase your total holdings of tokens, and that's about 30 to 40%, depending on how many people are staking on the network, per annum of additional tokens that are being paid to you for securing the network. So from that point of view, oh, it's great. I like this project, and now if I do this thing, I will get more of the tokens. The other reason that you want to stake is because you're actually providing a vital piece of important, like, security to the network. Your stake secures the network from attack, and the more people who are staking and the bigger the value of that stake, the harder it is to break the network, the harder it is for someone to come in and do something malicious. So if you like a token, and you like a community, and you think the project has value, you think it's going to be a thing that is going to provide utility to people, then you can make it more secure just by staking, and doing that makes the entire project more successful as well. So that all of those things are really, really important.
Okay, I take it as a good answer. I take it as a perfect answer, as a matter of fact. I just want to quickly understand, because there is so much going on again with so many products going on, with such an insane milestone that you guys have just achieved, right? That you couldn't be probably more proud of, and I share the happiness with you. Exactly. We should do some. There are many people actually like expressing their perfect love for our beards. I couldn't tell that about my hairline for sure. But there's
Maybe you've got a great head for a ball for like shaven. I do not
infinite.
have. You've got a great head. My head is. I look like I'm like I'm an egg-shaped head. So if I shave it, I just look like I have a forehead that goes on to infinity.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Listen, Piers. I mean, we should definitely hold some sort of like a bearded guys club, for ladies. Other question. We should do it. with all that, just going on, guys, from your end. Some key takeaways, some key message, some key places that people should be paying attention to for the next weeks for Radix. What is it?
So over the next weeks, we've released a lot, so we're not going to be releasing any big major products. I think the next weeks, some new things are going to come out. We're going to be trying some new messaging. We've been working through, we really like layer 1 DeFi done right. We think that really sums up what Radix is doing, but we found that people find our sort of our next level of our messaging a little bit too complicated. So build fast, don't break things. What do you mean by that? Sorry, build fast without breaking things. Reward everyone who makes it better, and scale without friction. We wanted to make the cut-through messaging a bit more clear on that. So some new stuff coming out there, which we're really excited about, which is basically 10x developer productivity, 100x security, and 1,000x more scalable than anything else. And you'll see what the messaging underneath that is going to be. Just make that a bit clearer. We've been running a bunch of Twitter outreach and engagement stuff. So our Twitter numbers now are almost at 50,000 followers, which is awesome.
Well done. Congratulations.
And then 48.6 thousand. Look at that. And then you're going to see basically some more announcements around Instabridge plus new exchanges are supporting the XRD, the actual native token, because all exchanges are currently supporting the EXRD, but you're going to see some exchanges supporting the XRD as well, and hopefully some direct staking products there as well. So like lots of like extra little things that are coming along that we're excited about.
It does sound intriguing, especially that it's going to be hard to top it out if you think about it, to break through the resistance of 6 products released all at once. I cannot probably find any other like project that would just do something as big as you did, at least not to the best of my memory for the past weeks or months. I want to remind to everybody, for who's new to Radix family, who's new to Radix DLT, or to this very show, guys, make sure you put out some comments, because we are slowly moving to 2-3 minute Q&A session. Post your questions in the very chat, okay? Especially if you're on YouTube, leave some comments for me and for Piers to actually answer, respond. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, because, well, Piers is here for us to actually just get the broadcast at the most important messages. Make sure you put out some comments for him. And before I get ask 1 or 2 questions perhaps of the series that they're in, I just want to make sure that everybody, okay, follows the 2 very accounts, okay, on Twitter, because that is the place that you want to stay up to date with. First of all, Piers's Twitter account, okay, which I have no clue right now if it is following, because Twitter just changed the layout and you can never tell anymore if you're following a person or not, right? Because apparently it's logical way to trick everybody that they follow and they are not, right? Make sure you click the follow button on Piers's account. Make sure you leave a follow button as well. Click on the follow button on the Radix DLT, and actually let's help Radix family break through 50K resistance, 50,000 members of the community on Twitter. This is definitely a huge milestone to celebrate. And I want to make as well use of the chat. So there is a kind comment also from Bropass that he says he followed Radix and Piers on Twitter. Looking forward to seeing this project grow. I know the story. Same here, buddy. Well done on that. There was a case for XRD on Bitfinex. Bitfinex.
So that's just been announced. Literally just been announced. 23rd of August. XRD will be traded on Bitfinex, and you'll basically get. It's going to do. They've been very kind and integrated us as a full. Basically, the pair will become XRD USD, XRD BTC, and then you can choose to either withdraw to the Ethereum network or withdraw to the Radix network. So you won't have to trade EXRD and XRD as separate markets. There'll be a single market, and then you have the ability to withdraw to whichever ledger that you want. So,
okay, so there is a. There is a question. Let's try to squeeze that perhaps in under 1 minute if possible, because that's a broad one to tackle. Why not just do Ethereum layer 2 scaling? So
I mean, like it's an interesting question. Like with Polygon getting over $600 million hack, like there's some of the answer is just there. Like layer 2 does not necessarily rely on the security protocol of the underlying system. You're actually adding a layer of complexity and abstraction, which makes the whole system more prone to a problem. Like this is actually like comes down to things like security protocol, security, and like the more moving parts you have, the more likely it is to break. This is true of engineering. It's true of like physically building things. So simplicity is important when you're trying to build critical systems. Layer 2 adds massive amounts of complexity. It segments liquidity. It makes it more difficult to actually move liquidity between the layer 1 and the layer 2 and between other layer 2s. It actually doesn't add that much scalability. I know people are like, hang on, like Polygon's like 5,000 transactions a second and Ethereum is 15. So, that's a lot more, but it the layer 2 doesn't solve the scalability problem. It just creates a like a nice little sticking plaster that allows us to get to the next stage, but that doesn't give us a long-term strategy to be able to solve it. And there's a bunch of stuff about layer 2 where layer 1 congestion becomes a problem, because you actually need to be able to bring state back to the layer 1, and being able to do that with a congested layer 1's a load of problems. So like layer 2 is not a solution. It is a sticking plaster that adds complexity, increases risk, increases the likelihood of something going wrong, and it doesn't really solve scalability. Is that sufficient?
I do believe so. I do believe so. To put it perhaps in simpler words for those who are struggling to get their minds around that, the way I read it, the way I understand it, it's very hard at times to raise very high skyscrapers and towers on a very unstable ground, right? It's very hard to build very complex buildings on a sound. And at times you have to go back and dig to the very foundations, to the very fundament, and actually fix what's wrong with the foundations to start with. And that's where you can build the huge, massive skyscrapers and towers. I'm not an architect, I'm an engineer, but I do believe that that's what it is all about. And layer 1 done right, with Radix, I think that's where we're going. Everybody, because we are running out of time, I truly appreciate your time. I truly appreciate it coming over to the show. And I couldn't be more grateful and excited for Piers, Ridyard, the CEO of Radix DLT, coming over to today's show. And guys, if you enjoyed this very monthly recap, monthly catch up with Radix DLT on the Birb Nests YouTube account, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave some thumbs up, leave some comments so that we can come back and scroll through the most important, most burning questions and tackle them right, just the way it is. And until then, everybody, I hope you're doing okay for the rest of the day. Stay safe, and we are going out. Thank you, Piers. Peace out.
Thank you so much for having me.